Everybody. So it's Kim and Caleb here, and I know it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, and everybody's busy cooking and getting ready for family and traveling. So not sure how many people will be on, but I just wanted to share. So many people were on here yesterday, listening to me share my story about what just happened with the cruise. Well, what I thought was a cruise, the trip to Punta Cana, and how hard it was, and I was in tears and a lot of people might not do something like that or let people see them like that. But I was blown away by the reaction that I got and all the messages that I received and the encouragement and the support and so many people who understood. And there was a huge update today, and just because so many people were following and so many people have been kind of just involved in that story and touched by it, I wanted to hop on an update. And something completely unbelievable happened today, and it was exactly what we needed. And so I shared that because we've been struggling financially for a while. I didn't share exactly why and what's been doing it, but we had opted for a home birth, and we just really tried to pursue a regular natural birth in hospital again, and it was pretty clear that God didn't have that for us, and it was a little scary and a little uncomfortable. We've never done it before, but we followed, and unfortunately, one of the only drawbacks is that the balance of your birth, kind of the whole prenatal and birth package, is due ahead of time. And I kind of had been counting on my business to provide all of that, even though it's our slow season, and I sorely underestimated what I would be bringing in. And it put us into a place where we couldn't actually really afford to do this by the time that we needed to have it paid off. And so we've been scrambling and crazy and just trying to cut wherever we could. And today, my son and I went over to my sister's, and we did some cookie decorating and things. We went to the store, and when I got home,
Aunt Jen?
for Aunt Jen's tomorrow. And when I got home, there was a card on my door, and I could see it from the car, and I knew that it was special, but I had no idea what it was. And if you can read this, it says, "For the McCluskey family." It says, "Your faith gives others hope." And I still didn't know what I meant until I opened up the card, and it was a heavy card that said, "I know things have been kind of tough for you lately." And when I opened it up, there was $800 inside of the envelope. And I've only told this story twice today, but I've cried both times, because what most people don't know is that anyone that would have listened to my video yesterday would have known that my family, we can't go on this trip as much as I've worked so hard. Things have been tight financially. But what no one besides God and my husband knew is that we are short exactly $800 for the birth, and it's due on Tuesday. And we have cut from everywhere we could cut for months. We have sacrificed. We have gone back to, we have always been humble with our finances, but we were humbled beyond belief again. It was scary and uncomfortable because we had no idea where this provision would come from. And I had no choice but to lay it down and to admit that that I didn't have it, and that I couldn't work hard enough to make it, and that it just needed to come from God. And we have been stressed and we have been anxious. I haven't perfectly trusted, but I did know that he would take care of it. But as we've got closer, it's been getting a little scary, and I had to message our midwife and tell her that we would be a little bit short and it would be a little bit late, and we were doing our best. And today, on the heels of sharing that story yesterday, I have no idea who this came from. And I don't need to know, because I know where it came from. And my son and I just fell to our knees, and I did. And I just started to pray with him and thank God, which is such an awesome thing for him to see, that mommy and daddy don't always have it all together, and we are never going to stop needing God. And there are so many amazing people in the world, and this right here is why I work so hard, is so that not only can I change, if it's God's will, my family's future, but so that we can do this for another family one day. That when we see a need, that God can use us to meet it. That is the point of financial freedom. It isn't huge houses and fancy cars. It is to give and to serve and to love others the way that somebody just loved on our family tonight. I am still shaking, still crying, because in the middle of such a scary time, God has stretched my faith beyond belief, and it was so hard to trust. And tonight, I know exactly why we were where we were for a while, because my finances are the biggest area that I need to surrender, and I try to control that so much. And today, He taught me a huge lesson about how perfectly He can provide and meet every need. I made a blog post about it before I hopped on to go live, and I'm going to post the link underneath it so you guys can hear the whole story better than I could put it now. I got to get my little guy to bed, but I just hope that everybody can see that this comes after the, hold on honey, it's spaghetti. We have spaghetti all over ourselves. The provision comes afterwards. It never comes before. We never see it. That's how trust works. It's confidence in God when you cannot understand and when you cannot see the way. And I know it's really hard to live this way, but I'm learning it's harder to live completely dependent on ourselves, and trying to do it all ourselves. So, you can't plan for these things. It's how God works. It's absolutely amazing. I've heard stories like this. I've seen this happen to other people, and I've seen God provide for us, but really never has it been such a large and such a perfect gift at such, perfect timing, right when we needed it most. And so, thank you to whoever did this. I have no idea who you are, and I don't need to know, but you have fully been used by God, and we are going to be praying for your family for a long time, that you are just blessed beyond belief for this. And I truly hope that we can do the same for others one day. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and I hope everybody has a great night, and I hope that this encourages you too, that even though that trip was so heartbreaking, and right now, it seems that we will not be going. I lost my spot because we didn't have the extra money to do that. God never said that He would take care of every want, but He did promise that He would meet every need. And today, He did that in a far more important way. And we learned a huge lesson, and I hope maybe somebody else did as well. So we love you guys. Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving.